Mike, Cody, now we're sending you back to your home forges to make an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the pipe tomahawk.
Nice.
Tomahawks are a First Nations weapon. The pipe tomahawk served as both a practical and ceremonial tool among northeastern Native Americans. This variation on the tomahawk symbolized both war and peace, with a deadly axe head on one side and ceremonial smoking pipe on the other. Original tomahawks were made from wood and sharpened stones, but in the 16th century, metal heads were introduced thanks to trading with the newly arrived European settlers. This deadly weapon was light and nimble, making it lethal for both chopping and throwing. The versatility of the pipe tomahawk can be seen in the film, The Last of the Mohicans. Your final challenge is to forge a pair of pipe tomahawks. They must be effective working, fully functional versions of the pipe tomahawks that you see here. When I say working, you gotta be able to smoke them, gents. Good luck. We'll see you in 5 days.
Good luck, bro.
My name is Cody Craig. Some people have been blessed with a silver tongue. I have not, but I've been blessed with silver paws because I can make a lot of things and I have such a diverse background that could really give me an edge. Today I'm just going to try and accomplish getting this big round stock down about 1.5 inches square. That'll be closer to the final dimensions for the hawks, so I'll be able to work them a little easier once I'm there. Heat and hammer, heat and hammer. The quench goes wrong. You have to start over. Here we go. And so that's very stressful. And in we go. Number one appears to be good. And here comes number two. No love pops in this one either. I just gave birth to a pair of twin boy tomahawks, I suppose. So making tomahawks that are smokable, super unique parameter. I found a bit that electricians use to run long cables like through walls. It's 24 inches long. Make sure I didn't go through the side, which I definitely did. So I got some axe handles made out of ash. I'm gonna shape them down to be tomahawk handles, and then I'm gonna split them in half and draw out the groups. Overall, it's been fairly tedious having to go back and forth just to make sure they match. I mean, doing it once is one thing, but having a system to be able to do it multiple times is different. I'm gonna take a break from tomahawks for a long while.
I'm Mike Rowley. I'm a teacher and coach 7th and 8th grade girls basketball. I am very competitive, and I figure if I just beat one person per round, I can win. You never know with Damascus. I mean, it's always a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Billets are going in. Woo! Full speed ahead. I'm drifting the holes to be able to attach the handle later, and I see it tear out, and my heart just freaking drops to the soles of my feet. I got over exuberant. I was hitting it too hard instead of keeping it up to temperature. I have to start completely over because it is a matching pair. So stinking frustrating. I refuse to be the first person on Forged in Fire to not hand in finished weapons. And so I go to plan B, which is simply make a pair of pipe tomahawks out of farrier's rasp. I caught up pretty quickly. All I've got to do today is fit the tomahawk head to the handles and punch a hole through the top of the handle to ensure that it will draw smoke. I just sucked in so much sawdust.
Gentlemen, your weapons will now be put through a series of tests. But up first, the smoke test. You guys ready?
I'm not a smoker, so I didn't actually smoke out of it, but this is the one test that I am uber confident on.
Ready? 3.
Works. All right, smoke test is good.
One test down, 3 more to go.
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I'll take your tomahawks and go ham on these big carcasses. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
right, Mike. These are made to chop deep. It's easy to maneuver and deliver that kind of damage. Overall, sir, your weapons will kill.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Cody, you're up next. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. All right, Cody, let's talk about your pipe tomahawks right here. The brass accents you have on the handle does make for a very good grip. It chops deep, it slices. Most importantly, your pipe tomahawk, sir, will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, to test the strength of your weapons, I'll be throwing them multiple times into our wooden target here. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good job.
All right, Mike, so right off, these have a really good feel to them. Comfortable handle. They're very symmetrical. Blade on this one held up beautifully. This one has a bit of a delamination right down here at the bottom. And then you've got that other delamination on the edge, but it's not coming apart. And it doesn't appear to be affecting the integrity of the blade. Both pieces are still tight, so excellent job.
Thank you.
All right, Cody, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So
Really? That was awesome.
All right, Cody. These look very stout, but they feel very light. I see no damage on either.
Awesome.
What happened?
I didn't follow the old adage, measure twice, cut once.
The difference in length is probably an inch. Didn't really affect the throw at all. They're solid pieces. They're strong. They throw great.
Awesome.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
The tomahawk was originally a native weapon adopted by the early Americans in the revolution against the British colonials. To see how sharp your weapons are, I'm going to take your tomahawks and try to penetrate these redcoats. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. Sick.
Well, Mike, your tomahawks, sir, as you can see, are sharp. They cut easily into these redcoats. It will cut.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Cody, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Cody, your tomahawks are a pleasure to wield. They feel good, and I can index. Your tomahawk, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
Mike, Cody, you're both badass American bladesmiths. However, in this competition, there can only be one Forged and Fire champion, and that champion is Mike. Congratulations, you are the new Forged and Fire champion. Cody, unfortunately, your tomahawks did not make the cut.
Cody, these are the kind of competitions we love seeing, where two bladesmiths make weapons that perform almost identically. And it came down to symmetry. We asked for a matched pair of tomahawks, and that symmetry is what caused it.
All right, Cody, At this time, I have to ask you to please surrender your weapons.
Big shout out and big congrats to Mike. You know, you brought your A game, I brought my A game, and clearly you're just a little better at measuring than I am.
Mike, congratulations. You are our new Forged in Fire champion, and that is a title that comes with a check for how much?
$10,000.
That's right, $10,000, buddy. Please present your tomahawks to the judges.
I'm Forged in freaking Fire champion, and it feels amazing. I can't even believe it. I can't stop smiling, dude. I'm trying not to.
Mike, Alex, congratulations. You've made it into the final round of this competition, which means that you're both one step closer to the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for 10 grand. All you have to do now is recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Horseman's axe. Used by mounted knights and armies, the Horseman's axe became the weapon of choice after body armor made swords less effective. The heavier axe with its concave blade allowed horsemen to strike more effective blows, using a sweeping overhead stroke that penetrated armor. Early depictions of medieval warfare shows the axe cleaving an opponent's helmet, delivering a fatal strike. In the film Sleepy Hollow, the headless horseman wields a horseman's axe. You're both talented bladesmiths. Show us $10,000 blades that you can be proud of. We'll see you in 5 days. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. My name's Alex Ruiz, and I forge blades on nights and weekends. I used to make hammers and tongs for bladesmiths, and I got bit by the bug. Describe myself in 3 words: loves to forge. Got this big block of 4140. It's a really good impact steel. If anything's gonna hold up to hitting something, it's gonna be that 4140 head, 4140 body. I may have 5 days, but if the competition taught me anything, work fast, work diligently, in case I run into a last-minute issue. Getting that spread out another 1.5 inches to be past minimum is my biggest challenge. I'm cutting these little nubs in, hoping that I can open them up this way. Gotta add some width. This is not gonna become 5.5 or 6 inches. I'm gonna have to start over. But I'm keeping the spike. My plan now is to cut it right here, and I'm gonna forge weld this to this. I'm happy. I've got something that's solid, and it looks like an axe. I got the bell hook keened over. Now, need a heat treat. It's a tense moment. I'm gonna heat treat one section, and the other heat treat will make or break my edge, literally and figuratively. Oh, yeah. Now that the heat treat's done, I'm testing my weapon on a piece of sheet metal. I want to see what kind of damage it'll do. Nothing loose. It will bend.
My name is Mike Bailey. There is a lot of magic in bladesmithing. Metal came from space. This is the elements of the universe. Also, I get to play with fire and hit things. I mean, where else? My overall plan is to do a 2-piece head and then attach it separately to the handle. The hardest part of this weapon is going to be not being afraid to continue in fear of making some mistake. I can't have analysis paralysis. I can't analyze the problem to the point where I do nothing. Quenching the shaft, I used a torch because I thought I'd have a difficult time in the forge. I think it's hard. Next, I'm gonna peen in the belt hook. The belt hook doesn't fit snugly like I was hoping. The last thing I want to do is to weld it because it's a hard material and the extra heat from welding it can make the metal brittle. I'm adding the sassafras handle. It finishes beautifully. It's soft, it's relatively easy to work with. The handle's complete. Then I'm gonna start hacking my forest down. I'm scared to test it, but I have to see how it's gonna hold up.
goes right through it.
I'd kind of like to keep it around. I think it'd be real handy around here.
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. The Horseman's axe, it's actually two weapons in one. It's got an edge that can lacerate and chop, and a spike that can penetrate and crush bones. To see what kind of lethal damage your axe will do, I will take your Horseman's axe and deliver lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, I am.
As you can see, I'm recovering from an injury. So one of my students will have the satisfaction of testing your weapon.
Has a tendency to roll.
Well, Mike, let's talk about your weapon. Your edge over here is sharp. It lacerated deep into the bowels right here. Your spike definitely caved in all the way into the chest and straight into the heart. The only issue we have is that your handle is a little bit on the rounded side, so there is a tendency to slightly roll. But overall, your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
Alex, you're up next. You ready?
Yes.
Let's do this.
All right. I'm pretty proud of what I created. It's just a little heavy, and that's a bit of a concern going in. Sweet.
Alex, your weapon here is a little bit on the heavy side. But you know what? It is well balanced. The edge of your blade here cut deep into chest cavity, and it broke the bones. Your spike here right into the heart. And of course, on the swing, it pretty much just disemboweled the dummy right there. Your weapon will kill.
Yes, thank you.
Next up is a strength test. Jake?
Now, we know ice can be very brutal on an edge, so I'm going to take your Horseman's axes and repeatedly strike into these large blocks of ice to see how well they hold up. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Well, Mike, unfortunately, we had a serious failure on your axe with this weld point in the junction of the belt hook. Now, Alex, you still have to pass this test. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. There's only one thing standing between me and a $10,000 check, and it's really big, and it's made of ice.
Now, Alex, your Horseman's axe did quite a job on that ice. Everything's still tight. Your edge is still razor sharp.
Thank you.
So, all in all, very nicely done.
Bladesmiths, our weapons tests here are designed to be exceptionally brutal in order to set your weapons apart from one another. Mike, your blade did not survive our strength test. For that reason, I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
Okay. I am disappointed, but when I go home, I'm going to have a smile on my face. Forged in Fire has risen me from the dead somehow. I will take this forward with me for the rest of my life.
Alex, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000. Good job.
It's surreal. It's really surreal.
Well, come on over here and shake our hands.
Oh, wow. I can't really fathom like I've won. Like, I won. Definitely tops everything else I've ever done. Being the Forged in Fire champion just shows I've applied what I've always tried to teach others. Never stop learning.